It doesn't seem to end in a curve. I don't know if it has a bulb on the end. Let's just go find it. Nope, no bulb there either. Just a creepy cave. Ooh, beautiful waterfall cave. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. But what's going on here? Don't want to go past here yet. Alright, what's your deal? Okay. That was the good solution. Was this a bad solution? That was also a good solution. This thing has no bad solutions. You probably have a bad solution. You have a bad solution. It's also a bad solution. What if I go around you? That did solve it. Okay. Like wiggle wiggle. So wiggle wiggle solves it. Does this solve it? That also solves it. Wiggle, but then ignore that part. Also solves it. Okay, we need more content. Ooh, there's a double here. So, just to be clear, this doesn't work, right? Is it just saying make one square? So, does this make 2 squares? Yes. Make 3 squares? Alright. Make 4 squares. Make an L shape somewhere? That's the hard part. The hard part is figuring out where to put it. And the exit's up there. I'm gonna say put it up here. There. There's an L shape. There we go. This is a straightforward mechanic. Hello. Oh wow, this looks just like the weird patterns we've been seeing everywhere else. Oh, these are just all around. What's going on here? Can I move this entire platform? Let's go over here first. Ooh. It's all red. Like all of the flowers have bleached it or changed its color in a crazy way. Is this whole place like that? That's all blue. Okay. We're learning an important thing about these weird squares. Alright, so these have to be each in their own box, right? Got it. Okay, how does that work? That works too. So if they're connected, we're fine? So it doesn't mean these two get added together to be a square? It does mean that. Okay. And this is added together to make a 6-part piece? We're doing math. Does it work over here too? It does. So as long as these two shapes would fit into this area, we're good. It doesn't matter which side the symbol's on. So what's your deal, though? Do I still do it like this? So if I did it sideways, would that not work? No. So the orientation matters. Which way the shapes fit, face matters. But you can, as long as they fit within that without rotating them, they're good, apparently. So let's try that like this. Putting the long one on the bottom. Exactly. Okay. Oh, this one's a little harder. Alrighty then. How about that? Okay, so you don't have to draw a dividing line between the shapes even when they're like that. Their current positions allow them to fit like that, so we're good. Okay. This will help me solve an earlier puzzle we saw that had these kind of shapes in them. Now we know what these things mean. Learning things. Hey you, what's your deal? So if I make lines about all of these things in here... Are we good? I don't think that's gonna work. Nope. How do I do the middle one? Oh, I can connect... Oh, you can connect it to either side, huh? So I go around like this. So it's one of those console... It's one of those terminals where it has 2 settings, basically. I just did the left setting, which did something... Did I do something with the water, maybe? Don't know what I did. Oh, it's probably already... We're already over here. Oh, I see it. There's 3 here, 3 here, 3 there. These yellow pieces are the things here. So attaching it to the left is already where we are. Okay. So... Attach here now. And that'll move me to the right. Oh, you still have to solve it correctly. There we go. Ta-da! It's satisfying when you figure out what the mechanic's going to do before you do it, as far as operating machines goes. Because there's a lot of opportunities to do weird things that move a machine around, but it's rare that you move the machine around and you also know what it's going to do before you do it. Or at least I feel like that's been rare for me. There's nowhere else to go over there, right? Just dead ends, and I can't go in the water? Alright, so we're good. The red and blue thing is really interesting looking. Wouldn't really want to fall into it. It's very stagnant. But it's pretty. Hello, you. A staircase going down into the water, huh? Right after I say I don't want to go in there, huh? Oh, can't go in the water. This almost seems to indicate that there's some kind of subterranean area that I can access if I drain the water there. How about you? That probably gets involved in that, but it doesn't seem to have a switch on it. So it's powered elsewhere. The cable goes up there. The cable goes up the tube, up the pipe, up the pole, sorry. Goes, oh, there's the beams. So it goes for a while. Alright. Well, I'm not getting through here until I turn on this beam that goes up there, so... We have a goal now. Look at that. Sense of progression through a level. A series of connected tubes and a thing that you want to solve, but it goes behind several other things you have to get past. There's multiple things around here. Which one do I prioritize? Are you like a shortcut? Alright, so... Let's go on this side first. And then... outline it. But, oh, that one's a 4. I see what I did wrong. I went a little too fast is what happened there. Oh, careful. 4 long. So many of them have been 3, I just kind of blindly assumed for no good reason. So will the same approach work here? Oh, it's smaller, so it's going to be more in my way. So functionally, I have to connect this part while also doing the other piece of the outline, which complicates things a bit. So I go like this, more or less. How do I do that while also encasing this 4? So, I need to find a way to basically circle the entire board except these 2 and these 2, as far as I can tell. Unless I can reorganize these in some way. It seemed like we were allowed to rearrange them somehow, right? So what if I just pretend this one's way over here and that these things are over there? Like if I tried to create... See how that would involve both L's being... Oop. See how that would involve both L's being on the far right while the maze is on the far left? I mean the line's on the far left? Would that work? Aside from the part where I don't have an exit. It might. So I have to go this way to do that. Oops. Oh, I did it. Alright. You have to rearrange the pieces. As long as they're all contained, you're allowed to rearrange them anywhere in there mentally. So yeah, so this thing over here is these 4. This one became these 4, and this one became these 4, and that's allowed because it works as long as they're all within the shape that you're doing it in. That's interesting. Where's this go? Right back down to where I've been before? Oh hey, an alternate view of the treehouse area. I wonder if solving this area is how I go about solving or getting access to the treehouse area. There's a reflection of the treehouse. It's a very cool looking treehouse, by the way. I wonder if I have to get on top of that ridge somehow, and from there I can solve a way into getting on. Hard to say at this point. I haven't seen an audio diary in a while, which makes me very paranoid that I've probably just been walking past them a lot. Let's explore this little area before we go back. Just want to see if there's something cool around here. Answer tends to be yes. At the very least, something visually striking. I think I walked past a little dead end over there, didn't I? This one seems to go on for a while this other patch path seems to end. Hello, you. Oh, they didn't seem to have anything for me here. Just kind of is here. Alright. Alrighty then. There's some very Dr. Seuss looking stuff going on with these trees right now. With their pom-pom designs. I think that's what I was trying to think of before when I was trying to figure out how to think about these things. So this appears to be another boat location. Hello, you. So this seems to be an alternate location where I could have called the boat earlier. This is a purple field. Oh, it's an alternate behind area. Let's see. So if I press this, does the boat come out of the water or does it get called all the way here? Looks like it magically spawns under the water. Okay. So this should be the boat I can use to get around everywhere, basically. There is some submarine nonsense going on there. So with the way that it rose out of the water in such an inorganic way makes me assume that it's actually it must be on a rail. That's why you click on such specific things in this theme park looking place. So this is where we saw the last boat, and this appears to be where I am now. Interesting. Oh. I was wondering where these missing things were that I'd never found about the boat here. I bet that if I take the tour on the boat, I can go past behind it. That'll probably give me an alternate perspective that allows me to solve certain puzzles in the environment around there. That is something to keep in mind for later. That's not something I want to do right now, but it's something to think about, is the idea that the boat could give me an alternate perspective for some of these environment puzzles. That takes me across. What's the deal with this last thing? Broken cage with someone on top of it. Ooh. I can almost line these two up. Aww. That's kind of nice. Does any part of them count as a puzzle? Not necessarily. Just something visually striking, the way that you can make them catch each other's hands right there. Those are my lasers are going. So 3 of my lasers are going right there. The yellow one's not. I'm a little surprised by how many I have going there. I'm starting to wonder how many there are total, because I feel like I have a high number. Alright, went for a quick jog, and we're back here. Now let's solve these other puzzles here. So this goes 4 to the right. So that means you have to do this. Because it's 4 long, there's no alternation there. It has to be these... It has to be attached to this specific location. But... problem... these ones are 3 long, and you can't go up to wrap them up. And we'll test it real quick, but I assume that... oh, can they penetrate each other? First of all, this pattern's not going to work for me. But I wonder if that would work. Probably not. I was thinking we could do the 4 on the bottom somehow, but no. Oh yeah, we could. If I can highlight them so that the 4 is on the bottom and these are the 2 3s. Oops. Yeah, but they're all within the shape. There we go. Yeah, so the 4 went here, and these 2 3 went up here. That works just fine. That's the exact same puzzle, but the same solution won't work. Okay. Now I need an alternate solution, more or less. So you naturally still want to put still inclined to put the 4 here. But the broken beam is in a more inconvenient location, which makes this whole thing harder. Because you can't just go up and wrap that part up. And if I don't involve this, then the 4 doesn't work. Let's see here. Yeah, how do I go about containing these? So, like these are the 2 3s. And the only way I could see to move them vertically would be if I could include that thing somehow. Like, if I could include both, I'd move them up like that. Oops. But, unfortunately, the 4 is still not contained within this shape. Making things more difficult, as it were. Oh, hang on. What if I just go separate them? There we go. That's all it took. Just had to separate the 2 from each other. I was thinking about them as one shape for no good reason. And now... You're going to cause me some trouble, aren't you? So this thing is a standalone square. And standalone squares cause me problems. The ones at the beginning of the tutorial were easy because they were touching walls, which meant you just could go bloop, and that was all you had to do. But you can't go in a square pattern in this game because you hit yourself, and you're stuck. That means that I have to move the dot somewhere else. I have to trick it into going elsewhere. But I have to do it in a way that actually touches all these other objects. And that is where the problem lies, okay? That is where the problem lies. Okay, so... It has to be inside the shape, as far as I know, right? You can't just be like... You can't be like 1, 2, 3, 4. There, that's the tall one. And then that's the square, and that's the other one, right? Right, they all have to be inside the shape. So... I need to put this in a shape where all those three are... in the orientation they're currently in. Just to be sure, you cannot change the orientation. Right. You can't put the 4 sideways. So I have to put it in a way that... So my first instinct is to say this is the 4. Oh, is that enough? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then these 3 are the remaining ones? It's like basically just create this kind of pattern, but in a way that doesn't trap me down here, perhaps? I can do that from the outside, right? Go on the outside and grab it from this side. Then go here. Got it. There we go. There's just a lot of rearranging in your head until it works. Okay. So you want to be like this, which is already a problem. No, it's not necessarily a problem yet. That works fine, and that part works fine. See? There's those, except now I'm trapped without these being solved, which seemed to needed to look like this and that. Alright. Immediately becomes a problem in some extent. So maybe can I make the outline of this pattern? So that's those... That's those more or less in place. But it doesn't quite work. Because I'm stuck. And that's not acceptable. Alright. So where can I move these pieces? So I'm thinking invert their locations. Well, if this one goes here, and that one goes on the far end, this one goes on the far end of this one. So, like, it would start with these first 3 being the one on the far right. Then these 3 would be the tall one. Then this would be the beginning of the L. 1, 2, 3, 4, and this would be the end point. Got it. There we go. I just sort of stared at that one for a couple minutes. Sometimes you have to just kind of look away for a moment and then look back at it without any of the pre-existing thoughts you had. Because you just need a moment to reconceptualize it as opposed to sort of brute forcing it. It's like brute forcing it with your brain sometimes when you just keep staring at it and you're like, this is not working. You have to sometimes just look away, check Twitter or something, and just like reset your brain for a moment. Hello, you. So that seems to indicate you need the outside, presumably with the hollow center being important to it, but this one also has an empty hole, so it's complete. And this one is 4, so they fit together and they would overlap in this manner into a normal square. Good. This one's weirder, although it looks like it's just an L shape with a bar, so this basically, right? No. It'd be over here. There we go. So the dot and the 3 become an L, and that's in the bottom, and then there's the bar on top. Got it. We're good. Oh my god, these incomplete shapes are gonna drive me insane. Alright, this is like... Okay. So these are far apart. They seem to be 2 apart from each other, which means that they have to be 2 on the far left or on the far right. Either at this height, that height, or in the middle. This thing is a weird bar. These things aren't going to move off the wall, so this bar has to be either here or here. And that doesn't really work because... Yeah, it couldn't be here because it has to touch this. So this bar is definitely going to be right here. That's the bar's location. Okay? So then we have to establish the remaining dots locations. They have to be on the far walls. So I'm going to say probably medium height for the 2 sets of 2. And the only place left to fit the 3 would be right here. So this is where the 2 is. So it stops here. This is where the 3 is right here. So it touches the bottom. The L shape only goes this far down. And this keeps going straight because that's this other set of 2. There you go. Got it. So to recap that one, the set of 2 is here and here. The L goes here. And this bar is there. Alright. This is my kind of puzzle. So far, I'm pretty on top of this one. What? Oh, the diagonal means it's any shape. I'm learning how to do something from... Wow, this finally makes sense to me about how to do some of this stuff. I've been wanting to know how these shapes work for a while. So it has to be a square, but it can be any orientation. Oh. But I need to create an orientation of that doesn't get in the way of these weird breaks. No? Oh, I flipped one of them is the problem. I understand the problem now. Okay, oh yeah, just go like this then. A Tetris L rotated 180 degrees complements the same Tetris L. They're using shape... Oh my god. This is genius. So they're making rotational puzzles with simple shapes, but what do you use to help your audience quickly process that? Make them use Tetris shapes, because they're used to rotating Tetris shapes if they're like 90% of people that have played video games. So that immediately you can figure out how to make those fit in certain manners. Okay, this one will be a little weird. I need to make this an L that touches that spot. And it has to touch a wall, because that's the only way to complete that shape. But it also has to touch... not so bad, I get. This causes some problems. It has to be an L shape that touches that. It has to touch a wall so that the long part has to go here. So it has to be like this, or it has to be like this, or it has to be like this, or it has to be like this. But it has to be a specific shape that only works... Okay, this one. Here it is. It has to be somewhere where you can rotate it and it fits that way, but it also can't get stuck on a... No, this is bad. Oh, no, it's good. Okay. The problem is that there was these evenly spaced breaks in the walls that would stop you from forming that pattern correctly. And it has to be attached to a wall because it's... all the shapes basically have to be attached to walls. You can't... No matter what the shape is, you can't finish drawing it by wrapping all the way around it. So they all have to touch walls. I was figuring out how to make it touch a wall with it, where that wasn't touching one of the breaks in the wall. Hello, you. You going off into the blue? So there's the blue. That goes to the purple, which we've seen before. On the other side. Hello, you. That's new. Are we combining 2 elements now? I think we're combining 2 different elements now. The 4 different colors. So, something new is going to happen here. Let's test it right now. Let's combine you guys together right now and see what happens. And it's not good. Oh, I get it. You can combine it with any of them. You can combine it with any of them, but the one you combine it with is going to be the one we go to. And apparently the red one's broken? Which is interesting. What happens if I tell it to go to the red one? Alright, so... Part of me wonders if that's somehow unsolvable. So this would attach it to the red one? It's actually almost hard to do. Let's see here. So we need a way to... You can start on either end, I guess. So, like, for example, this would be how you tell it to go to red. Except that trapped me. We'd have to go around this way. Like that. Then you also have to wrap around these guys, or they lose their minds. But how do you get the last one? That's gonna get me in trouble. Alright, so... Oh, I get it. Oh, it's like this shape. It connects to 2 of them at the same time. So this is already how it connects to red. It's already connected to red right now. There's just no red. There's black. So you do you create a bridge between the two sides simultaneously. I understand. All right, let's wrap around these two guys real quick. Black and red. Then we go and we wrap around the entire shape. Bam. I figured it out. And I also did the thing where I figure out what the puzzle does beforehand. I mean, what the mechanism does beforehand. Still satisfying. It's kind of nice to just let it rotate at its own pace right now. Very scenic. This is like the shot you'd get in the trailer of a specific location. This is actually the type of thing that people that make machinima, like Red vs. Blue, where they film stuff inside of video games, they use tricks like this, where they find something in the environment that does this kind of movement, and it actually helps them make a nice, smooth camera movement when they want to. It's one of the tricks they do. I remember that at one point they said they got crane shots in that game by just having a tank drive up and then standing on top of the tank with the cameraman, and that was how they'd get specific camera angles that wouldn't normally be possible in the game. So we still can't go in these. This mechanism looks different. Different though. I almost wonder if I can turn it on from the other side. Nope, there's no switch on that side. Alright, we're gonna go blue first. Because reasons. That goes right off to the boat. Oh yeah, we're all attached to the purple again, huh? Just from a different territory. But previously we couldn't operate these panels. Hello, you. A 4, an L, and a corner. Walk into a bar. This is a 4. And that would make it a 4 and an L. So how do we attach it to the remaining piece? That's where things get complicated. Okay, so... ways to make this thing an L. That doesn't make it an L. That would make it an L. We could do that. Okay, so... draw the outline of it then. If I'm making it face that way, then the L... this corner would be these 3 pieces, so if I wrap it around... there... got it. Alright. So this is the 4, that's the 3, and that's the L. This isn't too bad. That got a little weirder. They gave me that shape again. Well, if I added this to this, for example, my options are to either do this, if I added it directly to the side of it. Alternatively, I could do this. Yeah, that's another way to add that shape to that. But that thing over there is a 4. Also, they have to touch if I want to do that strategy. So, what does this look like? So this was one of the shapes I had in mind. That should still work when they're rotated. And now I just need to form it in a way that adds the 4L to it in a way that's touching. That part's a little harder. Let's see. It's easy to add to it in various locations. It's harder to make it add to it in a way that actually touches the origin symbol. That makes this even matter in the first place. Okay, here's an idea. Here's an idea. L goes here, and then we add the plus sign to the end of it, and it doesn't quite reach then, but then we could add this thing to the end of that. So it'd be like... did I lose it a little bit? No, here's the L shape. And the plus sign goes like right here. And then you add the additional part to the end of it. I think that's the dimensions of it? Yes. Okay, cool, got it. This is the L. And this is the T is the right thing to call that. And then that's the little nub at the end. There we go. I'm gonna have to stare at some of these for a while, aren't I? So this one is a complicated shape, and it has 4 breaks on the screen. Just to be rude about it. So this is the basic square I have to draw. But I have to add an L to that. 2 L's. Oh, those L's are the same shape, which means that when you flip them, they complement each other, so you can go boom. So this area is the two L's combined, and this is the 6. That one was easier. Oh, what's your trick? So right off the bat, I'm noticing these two, if you add them together, would just be a simple 2x3, like 6, like that thing. The trick would be getting them to actually touch, though, in the first place. So, for example, this does not connect them on its own, but maybe other things could. Problem is, let's see, how do I get this stuff and that stuff involved at the same time? Interestingly, this plus this would look like, so here, there's the 6. So with the last piece added, it would look like that on the end, which means that adding the last dot would put this on the end, so it'd be you can actually add these shapes together to make a 3x4 12 tile piece. Problem is, I can't make a 3x4 actually touch all of their origin pieces, so that's not going to work for that particular purpose. So here's some little food for thought going on here. So, make the L shape. I could add one of these caps to the end of it. I can't do it there because it'll hit the wall. So, let's do the L shape on this side. Like that. And then if I want to add the cap to it, it'd be like having a plus sign on one end of it. Problem here is that it sticks me against the wall, so I'd probably want to do it in the middle, specifically. So that's what it looks like with one of them added on. Problem is, it's not currently touching either of them. But maybe this is fixable? I could add the other to one of the... So first of all, I could do this to make the... If I do this, this will add the dot to it. But this still doesn't quite work because they're not all touching. I need a way to add the other two to the shape, and this doesn't do that. Alright, I had to draw this one out. It took a few sketches even at that point, but I was able to figure out a horrible monstrosity of a symbol that'll connect all these devices together. So this is going to be the L. And I am going to combine these two things into a set of 6, which is going to be down here. And by putting them down there, the last dot can connect to here. And I spent a lot of time trying to sketch this. So it's going to look like this, basically. So now I just need to draw that in a way that allows me to not get trapped within the... Okay, that's still a problem a little bit. Alright, what is a capacity in which I can draw this that doesn't trap me? Maybe if I rotate the whole thing 90 degrees. Let me hold my drawing sideways a little bit. I think I can still do this. Doing a little spatial reasoning here. Like that, right? Is that the shape? Oops. I can't believe I did set all that up and then just drop it. Alright. This should be my same shape rotated 90 degrees. Got it. Alright, that one took me longer than expected. The shapes got just weird enough, I guess. Did I drain it? Hey, these little things. They drain the underside. Did I drain the other underside earlier when I did that to the other part? I might have. What else is there to do around here? I'm curious. Before I go down right away. That's where the boat was. Here's the platform. Hello. So that's how you get that over there. Ooh. Designs in the water that seem like they could easily be mazes. There's some dangerous oh. That's not one? That looks so much like an endpoint right here. It's hard to see past the glare though, maybe that's the problem. And now it's hard to see past that. I probably have to go over there for it. Alright, you know. Let's satiate our curiosity and find out what the hell is down there.